it going? It's Billy and Christy here, and we're doing a podcast. How are you doing? We asked you to send in some questions, and there's some beauties there. So we're going to start off with a question from Helen Taylor, and this is a good one. And it goes, what habit does Billy have, Christy, that pisses you off? Be honest now, be honest.
Right. We call Billy Mr. Black and White because he has two opinions, what's right and what's wrong. And there's no in between, there's no grey. And we'll be saying, but Billy, what about this? Doesn't matter, that's what it is. And that's it, that black and white thing. If you could get rid of that, we'd be laughing.
That's the one thing about Christy, he's always honest. He fucking tells it as it is. And he said, right, I am like that, you know, there is no kind of grey area with me. But so, it's just the way I am anyway. Here's a question from Susan Montgomery. She said, what would you be doing right now, Christy, if it wasn't for the music career?
I think I'd be doing something with animals. I don't know what, you know what I mean? I've always loved animals. I kind of bred birds all my life and that. So I used to say years ago I'd probably have a pet shop or something, or work in a zoo or something like that. I don't know, but something with animals I think I'd do. Right,
okay, very good. Yeah, you always did say that you wanted to open a pet shop. That's true, yeah. And here's a question from Jay Keating. I know Jay. Jay's from Cork. How are you, Jay? It says, if you could do a duet with anyone, who would it be?
I was thinking about that one. Jesus, I don't know. I don't really know. I don't know. There's loads of people I'd like. There's nobody in particular I'd like to do it with. But yeah, I like Cathy. You know. What's her name? Cathy Davey. I like her.
Davey. Yeah.
I wouldn't mind doing a thing with somebody like her. It was Ireland on a world scale. I don't know. I'd like to do something with Bono, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, that could happen because he likes you. He does like you. I think he's a soft spot for you. You know.
I like him.
Yeah. You know, I tell you, they come in for a lot of stick. You know, but they don't deserve it, you know.
For all the people out there, you know, who, you know, you'd see people kind of like Aslan, and you think because they like Aslan, they have to hate you too. And it's bullshit, really, because you have to look at you too. They're one of the biggest bands in the world for the last, 30 years. There's been no scandals with the band. They've been right on top of things. You know, everything, you know, Bono, he goes out there and he tries to do good for the world, and he gets nothing but stick and lacquery over here for it, and it's wrong. It's really.
Yeah,
he's a good
man. If there was one, this is from Jimmy Coffey, and he says, if there was one song that you'd have liked to have written, what would the song be?
One. U2's One.
Right, okay. I would have went My Way. That's a class song.
Cracking song as well. Yeah.
Cracking song as well. So One by U2. That's the one you'd wish. Yeah.
You know, there's loads. I mean,
I know, yeah.
Thinking off the top of my head. But, you know, I'd be listening to a thing tomorrow, listening to the radio, and I'll hear a song. And I was looking to have written that, you know. It happens every day. Every day I hear a song that I wish I'd written.
Your man Jimmy Coffey actually answered this question, and he says that the song he would have liked to have written of all the songs is This Is. This is, you know, which is not a bad thing. You know. Here's a question from Natasha Scott. There's kind of three parts to this one, Christy. Who is the nicest person, celebrity, band you have ever met? So, person first.
Ronnie Drew.
Good
from
one.
The Butlers. He was lovely, you know. Who else? Who else did we meet that was nice?
Celebrity or band then?
I don't want to kind of go into slagging people, but I've found over the years, the bigger the band and the bigger the celebrity, usually the nicer they are. And then you get celebrities who are semi-celebrities are usually assholes, you know.
Yeah. I think when you meet a band and you take away the managers and the lawyers and everything, I think musician to musician, we've all got a good heart. Do you know what I mean? And it's just the bullshit that goes around them. Do you know what I mean? Like all the bands you meet, once you meet them face to face, they're genuine, they're nice. You know what I mean? It's all these stories that go around and managers that fuck them up and say you can't do this and you can't do that, you know.
It's getting through to them. Usually to get to a celebrity you have to go through 10 people. And
I think the nicest celebrity I ever met was Tony Fenton.
Tony was lovely. Yeah.
Tony was just a nice guy, you know. I think he was cool, you know.
Yeah,
and then the bands.
Top professional as well.
He was just great. He was just brilliant. Anyway,
it was very. Tony was, you know, he was the kind of old school, pop-tastic kind of thing. He wasn't playing at it. Like
no, that's just the way he was. Do you remember the time we were going out to Inishboffin? We were doing the gig on Inishboffin, and we were on the boat, getting the boat out to the island. All the dolphins were jumping around the boat and everything. Next of all, the phone rang. Hi guys, where are you? It's Tony. We're heading to Inishboffin. Have a look up at the pier, guys. I'm here waiting for you. There's Tony on a bike.
That was the last time I seen him, actually.
That was the last time we saw him, yeah. That was a cracking night, cracking gig.
Gorgeous place in Inishboffin.
Yeah. Now, here's one from Simon Spooner. Do you remember him, the Dig Bet duo? Yeah, from Birmingham, right? What's your favourite B-side to your singles?
Was Rock and Roll Suicide the B-side?
Yes.
There you go.
Right.
That's of a cover, right?
Yeah.
Of one of our songs. Jesus. Oh man.
I have one.
Go on.
All I Wanted to Say. Great song.
I'll go with that as well, yeah.
That was a great song. That was really good. Of the B-sides.
All I Wanted to Say was going to be the big single on the second album.
Yeah.
After we made Feel No Shame.
Yeah.
We were writing songs for the second album, and that was going to be one of the big songs on it. And unfortunately, we split up.
Yeah.
We never really got back to the song, because by the time we got back to it, it was kind of 5 years later.
Yeah. It's good. I was listening to it the other day. It's still relevant, you know. I see an old world dying, crying, trying and falling apart. I see my old friends leaving, grieving, pleading, trying to survive. But could have been written yesterday, do you know what I mean? But it's a great song. Of B-sides, it's a great song.
Yeah.
Now here's one for you. What's been your biggest highlight with Aslan? That's from Fiona Ruddle.
Right, playing with Bowie and Slain. I think probably.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah.
Although there's been loads, you know.
Yeah.
You know, being in a band is like a roller coaster. There's been huge ups. Actually, my best moment was the night for Christy in the Olympia, because for anybody that is not aware of it, so basically what happened was all the different artists in Ireland all got together with Aslan, with the band Aslan minus me, and they had a gig in the Olympia and they all did Aslan songs. So I was up in the little box where the Muppet sits, you know, when the Muppets I was looking up. I'd always wanted to know what it was like to be at an Aslan gig, and here I was, and although it wasn't me on stage, it was like being at an Aslan gig, and the love that was there that day, and you know, the amount of people that came out to support the whole thing just absolutely blew me. That was one of the nicest moments I've ever had.
That's what I'm talking about, musicians. Like, I swear to God, Christy, we could have done a week of gigs in the Olympia. The amount of artists that just came and wanted to do the gig, and we had to narrow it down. And there was artists like the likes of Paddy Cakesy wanted to be on it. There was no room. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We had
copy refused, did he?
Everyone. It was unbelievable. But that's what I'm saying. When you get musicians on a 1-to-1, that's when it happens. But my biggest highlight with Aslan was when we released This Is on Ricus Records. After years of like trying to get a record and trying to get something out, and then just having the record in your hand, you know, as a band, you're forced.
I remember once when that was released, and I was driving home one day, and it came on the radio, and I heard it on the radio for the first time, and I was just, holy shit! I wanted to roll down all the windows in the car.
It's great. It was like, you know, this is it. You know, we finally got there.
And like to release your first single and for it to be as successful as This Is was, you know, it was amazing, you know, and it's weird because we had been going for years, rehearsing in the big writing songs and trying to get, and all of a sudden overnight it just went through the bleeding stratosphere. It was amazing. Yeah, that was a great vibe. That's what I'm saying. It's very hard to isolate one moment. You know, there's been loads of them. There's been loads of really lows and really great highs. You know, so.
Yeah. Okay, and then there's one, I think this one is aimed at me, but we'll both answer anyway. What's the craziest thing you have done with Aslan? And that's from Daniel Duncan.
That's Daniel, yeah, I know Daniel.
I know Daniel. Daniel was at the gig in Portlaoise. The young fella. Nice little young fella.
Yeah, it's lovely, yeah. What's the craziest thing we ever did?
I'll tell you what I did while you're thinking yours.
First, and I'm trying to think of something.
We were gigging in Crete, and there was a swimming pool in front of the stage, okay? And I'm looking at the pool, and we're getting near the end of the gig, and I'm saying, I'm going to jump into this pool. So we were on the last song, took off the guitar, and I jumped into the pool. But I didn't know that the whole audience would follow me, so they all jumped into the pool as well. And there was mobile phones and all at the bottom of the pool. Security were reefing them out. We got into trouble. That was
Star Beach was the name of the place in Crete.
Where was it?
Star Beach.
Star Beach. That was it. That's where the gig was. Yeah.
Right, so the craziest one that I have was years ago. We did a tour with Stiff Little Fingers, and the whole punk thing at that time, the punks are real kind of macho and real. And so they were playing their home gig in the Ulster Hall in Belfast, and they have a song called Alternative Ulster, which is their big theme song. So the band were playing Alternative Ulster, and we all walked on stage as in the middle of the song in our boxer shorts.
I remember that.
You know, acting all gay and loud, and the crowd was spitting up at us and throwing cans at us and all.
Yeah, I remember that. Do you know the reason why we did that? You remember the reason why we did that? Because we were going into This Is in the Ulster Hall, and next of all, down, and I looked at Joe, who's playing the guitar? And there was Jake Burns up on the balcony and he stole our thunder. We were just about to go into This Is, our big single, and he played Alternative Ulster. The crowd went bleeding bananas, so we said, right, we'll get him back. And that's why we went on with the boxers. It was great. That was a great tour. That was brilliant. That was brilliant. Right, here's one. What's your favourite song to sing? Now, your favourite original song, your favourite cover, and your favourite gig. And that comes in from Trish Redmond. How's Mark, Trish? Tell him we're asking for him. Mark Redmond, keyboard player.
Yeah.
Trish Redmond, what's your favourite song to sing, original, cover, and your favourite gig ever?
Right, this is my favourite song to sing, Aslan song.
Yeah.
Letter from a Hooker in Minneapolis. It's a Tom Waits song. We have it on, I think we did it on one of the B-side or something years ago. You know, the Charlie, I'm pregnant.
Yeah.
Honestly, that's probably my favourite cover to do. And my favourite venue is Vicar Street. It's hands down.
Yeah.
I love Street.
I tend to go. We did last year. We did a place called Ballykeefe, the amphitheatre in Kilkenny. So I know Vicar Street is great to do, and the Olympia is great to do. I mean, but then you've got the Ivy Gardens, which is even an amazing gig to do. You know, so there's too many for me to just pick one. Because when you play an event like when we did the Ballykeefe amphitheatre last year, we just went, oh man, this is amazing, you know. And I'm sure we'll get to other venues in the future where that'll just blow us away, you know.
Yeah, there's millions, but it's just, if I was to pick one consistently, Vicar Street has been, like, I don't think we've ever done a bad gig there. I mean,
no, never. Yeah, never. Yeah, they've always been good.
It's my favourite gig. Yeah. But the Ivy Garden's amazing. Ballykeefe's amazing. The Wexford Opera House is amazing.
There's another one. Yeah.
Oh, you know, there's some great gigs around the country, and that's why we do it, because I love playing them all.
Yeah.
And you don't get, for people out there that are starting off in bands, you don't get a better buzz because it's a big gig. You know, some of the best gigs we've had have been in little tiny bars playing, you know, with the crowd are right in your face.
Yeah.
So, been loads of great gigs.
Yeah.
But
cool.
Big has consistently been good over the years. That's why I picked that.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Well, Christy, it's great having you on my show. Tune in next week when I'll be talking to Joe Joel. Huh?
That it? Are we finished?
Well, yeah, unless you want to... Yeah, that's it. Unless you want to have a chat, have a yap.
A couple of questions I'm going to ask you, right?
Right, okay.
These are just 5 I picked out.
Okay.
If you weren't in Aslan, what other band or musician would you like to play with?
I thought about that one, Christy. I wouldn't like to be with Aslan or anyone else other than Aslan, because we're together over 30 odd years. The vibe that we have is like, it's just amazing. We've had every reason to fall out with each other and argue and fight, and yet we're still here. And I just love the buzz of being in the band Aslan. I wouldn't want to be in another band, Christy. I really wouldn't, you know. And that's hand on heart, you know.
I agree with that, yeah. Right, so what's your favourite all-time song?
Oh, jeez. Oh my God, you got me there. Aslan song or any song? Oh, Jesus.
You used to say it was "Sexual Healing" by Marvin Gaye.
Oh, that's a great song. Jeez, that's a great song. Life on Mars, Bowie.
Right, good answer. Right, now, would you change anything in your life?
Would I change anything? No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Because, like, and again, you've said this loads of times, Christy. If we had went through the roof on the first album, and we probably wouldn't be still here and enjoying it. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's one thing having been successful for a year or 2 years. We've been going 37 years, Christy. It's amazing.
I'd have never thought that. Right,
no, it's amazing. You know, it really is.
What's the best gig you ever did?
Oh, I'm going to go back to, we were supporting Bryan Adams in the RDS, okay? And what happened was, he was late arriving to the gig. Now, normally when you do a support gig to a big band, you play to kind of like half the stadium, or, you know, you're on early enough where the people aren't in. But because Bryan Adams was late, he was late arriving at the gig, we walked out and the RDS was rammed. So we went on stage when he was supposed to be going on stage. And I'll never forget that. I'll never forget the buzz.
Yeah. I still, coming up to me now, remember that gig, you know, and it was years ago.
Yeah.
Right, a small question for you. You pranked me on FM 104, right?
Yes.
Anybody that you'd like to prank?
Who would I like to prank?
And apart from that prank that you done on me.
Right.
Yes, right?
Who would I like to prank? Oh, Jesus. I tell you, I'd love to get Joe. I'd love to get Joe. You'd have to set it up properly. But I'd say he'd lose the rag. Do you know what I mean? I'd say he'd lose the rag. Joe would lose the rag. But I'd love to get him because the reaction from him would be brilliant. You know?
He has guns. He'd shoot you.
I know. Yeah, he would. Yeah. He'd be so pissed off. Do you know what I mean? But I'd love to get him. I'd love to get him. We should actually plan to get Joe when all this is over. Do you know what I mean? We'll set him up good old. But yeah, it needs a little bit of talk for him. We'll get him.
Believe us, I have to go to Jackson.
Okay, Christy. Listen, stay safe, and everyone that tuned in. Listen, we'll see us when we get back, when all this madness is over, and I can't wait to get back. And a lot of people have been saying, why aren't we doing songs? Why aren't the band getting together and doing a song? Just to explain to you, Christy's in lockdown, and his grandkids, his daughter, nobody can go near him. Only Catherine. So we'd love to play live for you, but we can't. Because we have to look after Christy, which we're doing. Stay safe, buddy, and I'll see you when we get back. Yeah? Talk to you. Bye.
This is Eoin O'Hagan here for Scarf Bay Community Radio, and the music you've been listening to is the music of the hardest working rock and roll band in Ireland. Been going since 1982. This was one of their albums in 1997. Here comes Lucy Jones with the song You Gotta Make It. Now, this man sitting opposite me has made it. Christy Dignam, lead singer at Aslan. What a pleasure it is to have you on Scarf Bay Community Radio.
Cheers, Owen. It's a pleasure to be here. Actually, I mean, we go back a long way, so it's good to see you again.
It's a pleasure for me, and this is going to be a pleasure for the listening audience in East Clare and worldwide on scarfbayradio.com. Nearly 40 years, 38 years on the go with Aslan. Yeah. Does it ever get tough?
Well, it's always tough, you know, but it's great. I mean, if you didn't love it, you wouldn't be able to do it, you know. And a couple of years ago, I got sick and I didn't walk for about 2 years. I was in hospital for a year, and then I was in a wheelchair for a year. And when I wasn't gigging, I just got really, really depressed and stuff. And it was only when I start gigging again that it lifted. So I kind of have to keep gigging, exercise me demons.
You're in Glore in Ennis tonight, and there's 600 people. It's a sellout show. Looking forward to Aslan taking the stage.
Yeah, it's great. And it's great at this stage. I mean, to achieve success of any level is hard, you know. But to sustain it, and especially to sustain it for nearly 40 years, it is tough. But it's great. I mean, I always said that if the audience weren't there any longer, we'd stop doing it, you know. But we're still getting great audiences. In fact, we're probably getting better audiences now, bigger audiences than we did 20 years ago, you know. So it's amazing.
What's the playlist going to be like tonight?
Well, it's kind of a mixture of everything. We just started every year. We change the playlist in January of every year. So it starts off with a song called "Hang On," which is from the Nevermind on Waiting for This Madness to End album. Then we go into A Pretty Thing, which is off the first album. Then we do Chains, which is off the Lucy Jones album. Then we do Where's the Sun, which is off the Charlie Moonhead album. So it's a cross section of everything we try and get into the set, you know. But the last couple of years, what we've done because each album was kind of 30 years old for the last while. So we did a Made in Dublin, a year of Made in Dublin, did a year of Charlie Moonhead last year. So this year we're not picking one particular album, we're just picking songs from everything, you know. So.
I know this is not fair to ask you, what's your favourite song on that playlist?
Oh God, I don't know. It changes all the time. There's a song we do now. Well, it was a single we had a couple of years ago. It wasn't a very successful single, but it's a song called Need a Little Time, and I love that at the moment. But it changes all the time. Like one day it's Too Late for Hallelujah. This is always a big song for me. I always loved that because it was the first song. It was our first record. It was the one that kind of started the whole ball rolling for us. So I always loved doing that.
These are the eyes of a blood
You're an ultimate performer on stage, and you seem to get enraptured by the music.
The only way to do it is to kind of get totally into it, you know. And when I get on stage, it's like it's the only time it's the time I feel most alive, you know. When I'm walking around the streets, I'm a different person, but when I'm on stage, it's just, you can just be you. I can really be myself on stage. I just absolutely love it.
Aslan's appeal is international, and ever since the 80s, you've always performed abroad as well.
The whole thing was to bring, you know, the music. Initially, years ago, Irish music wasn't really renowned in rock and roll. It wasn't really renowned around the world. People knew us for our traditional music and stuff, and the amazing traditional artists that are in this country. But our vibe was always to try and bring rock and roll, Irish rock and roll around the world, and we kind of came behind the likes of U2 and Tin Lizzy and stuff. So we always wanted to maintain a really high standard, because we knew what had gone before us was of a very high standard.
What have you got that you can leave behind? If it fits in a box, was it a waste of time? Do you deserve how cold you feel right now? What have you learned? Did you stop to write it down? You never needed anyone, but you need someone today. You never needed anyone, but you need someone today. When it all breaks down, when it all breaks up, and it's too late now, too late for hallelujah. When you burn and fall, too late for hallelujah. How did it taste at your table for one? How did you dance if you never held someone? You never asked for anything, that's exactly what you got. Desperately you tried to change.
Your book came out this year, written by Damien Corliss, an autobiography. Damien Corliss, who I remember well from rock music back in the 80s as well.
Yeah, it's great. You know, Damien, when I was doing it, I did an autobiography 17, 18 years ago, and we kind of did it in the vernacular, meaning, so the way I was speaking was the way it was being written. So I was kind of saying things in slang the way I would. And, like, for example, you might say, I went up to me bleeding mass today. And that doesn't sound too bad when you say it, but when you read that, it looks, oh, he must hate his mother, you know, or something. So when we were doing this, I wanted to get somebody that knew the band, knew the history of the band. And Damien, as you said, he's from the same area that we're all from. So he knew the band, you know, he's a musician himself. And I knew he'd kind of treat it with kid gloves, which he did. And it's been an amazing success. It was one of the biggest selling books last year, which totally blew me away.
Thanks for the mention too.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, well, I mean, I did a gig last night with Joe. I do this little acoustic thing with Joe. And I did a gig last night with him in Kildare. And even every time we do a gig, I was talking about the pigsty, you know, and like that was a huge, just for people out there who don't know. When we were starting off, we all, as I said, we all gave up our jobs, so none of us had any money. And so we didn't have money to rehearse, because at that time in Dublin it was very expensive to hire out rehearsal rooms. So Owen's father, his family lived on this farmhouse in the grounds of the airport, and there was a redundant pigsty on the farmhouse, and Owen's family very generously gave us a loan of the pigsty to rehearse in any time we wanted it. So we used to go up at 9 o'clock on a Monday till about 4 or 5 o'clock in the evening. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday and Saturday. We just take Sunday off. And that's how the first album was written. So, although people out there don't know, Aslan probably wouldn't exist if it wasn't for Eoin and his family.
Oh no, we won't claim that. Thanks, but I won't claim that. But in that pigsty, I remember watching you write "This Is," and Super Sarah in the corner making sandwiches.
Right, yeah, we used to have to sit because it was just a pigsty. It just had a wrought iron roof on it, and it used to be freezing in the winter. So we had a Super Sarah there, and Super Sarah, for anybody out there doesn't know, is a gas fire. And we used to bring up sandwiches and we'd toast them on the Super Sarah. So I still have great memories of that. I have one great memory actually. When we were in the pigsty was offset from the actual farmhouse, and there wasn't a bathroom anywhere. So if you wanted to go to the toilet, you just had to leak in the bushes. The airport was on lockdown, which we didn't know because we were walking away in the pigsty rehearsing. And I went over to the side of a bush to have a leak, and this soldier stood up and nearly had a leak all over his head.
In its place, all wrapped up on the mantelpiece, and standing still. Silhouettes of many heroes face the wall and take their place in time. Something's creeping up inside of me, a place I used to hide, and it won't let go. Bright skies and rainbows, maybe then again I've heard that song before. Oh, what a waste, and time keeps ticking away. I'm wrapped up in chance, wrapped up in you.
Christy, Spotify and online sales, how has that affected sales for Aslan?
Well, it's totally turned the whole thing around. The last album, we pay for everything. We're our own record company. So the last album we did cost us 110 grand or something to record. And in the first 2 weeks of its release, we sold 40,000 euros worth, and 250,000 euros worth was downloaded legally. So, you know, now you don't make money. It's not financially viable to make music if you're going to make it for money. It's only like the top percentage of 5%, I think, of artists make any money out of records. So basically, what I'm doing records for is for yourself, and hopefully people will hear the records on the radio and come to your concerts, you know, and that'll kind of you'll recoup in that way. But if you were to make records for money these days, it's there. And remember, we did, I think, for 90,000 downloads of Crazy World. I think we got 16 euros between us. And so, but now it's different now, it's changed now. The brother-in-law's way are getting a little bit more, you know. It's all about streaming now. And it's changing rapidly, you know. But if we didn't have our live performance to rely on for financial, for they had to pay the mortgage, we'd be dead a long time ago.
8 years ago at the Scariff Harbour Festival, a band from Dublin called Aslan took to the stage. You remember that?
I do indeed, yeah, it was great. It was an amazing gig. I remember we actually stayed in your house, and you had this big American truck outside. Is that still there?
No.
Anyway, yeah, it was lovely. I've always loved Clare, and I've loved this side of the country, you know. But I've a sister lives in Connemara, so we're kind of fairly close, you know. But yes, I've always loved this side of the country, you know. To me, Ireland is changing; it's losing its soul, you know. And when you especially in Dublin, more so than anywhere else. But I've noticed it going. I mean, we go around to every little corner of the country, and there are certain little pockets. Clare is like that. Donegal is also like that, where they still have retained the old Irish soul, you know, what I call it, and it's disappeared. And you know, I don't think you should ever lose that, because it's a beautiful thing.
So you think you can tell heaven from hell, blue skies from pain, and can you tell a green field from a cold steel rail, a smile from a veil? Do you think you can tell? Did it get you to trade your heroes for ghosts, hot ashes for trees, and hot air for cool breeze, and cold comfort to change? Did you exchange or walk on part in the war for the lead role in a cage? Swimming in a fishbowl, year after year, running over the same old ground. What have we found? The same old fear. I wish you were here.
Thanks for taking time to talk to Scariff Bay Community Radio. Now, tell me, what act most influenced you in your career?
I don't know if there was one. I'll tell you who influenced me more than any other. That was David Bowie, right? I'm a huge David Bowie fan. But, you know, when we were kids, we grew up listening to, you know, all the old kind of ballad songs, the likes of the Dubliners and stuff like that. And you'd be at parties and you'd be singing all these Wolf Tone songs or Dubliner songs. So that whole music, it's like osmosis, it just gets into your system. And I'm a firm believer that you're influenced by everything you hear around, you know. And I never dismiss really any type of music. You know, you'd be surprised at some of the stuff I'd look at. You might think it was crap, But I look for the virtues in anything. So, but I suppose if there was one artist, I was a big Dylan fan as well. I loved Dylan for his lyrics. I loved Bowie for the musical end of it. And then I loved bands like Pink Floyd at the time, stuff like that, you know. But generally I was influenced by it all, you know.
And these acts have made it onto the set list as well, haven't they?
Yes, so that, you know, when we were doing an album called Made in Dublin, a live album, we wanted to kind of pay tribute to some of the artists who inspired us. That was the whole idea of it. So we did a song by the Rolling Stones, Angie, Wish You Were Here by Pink Floyd, and so yeah, we always tried to do that. But that was our way of kind of paying homage to these great artists.
David Bowie influenced you, but you also supported him one time.
Yes, we had so we just signed to EMI Records. And I remember the day we got the paper and there was a notice in it that David Bowie was coming to Slane. And we went to our manager and we said, look, we don't care if you never get us another gig. We have to get this support to Bowie, you know. He's our biggest hero and all. So he was touring an album called the Glass Spider Tour, it was called. And we eventually got to play just before him, which was an amazing experience.
Bowie's left us, but his music lives on.
Yeah, there's people like David Bowie and I suppose Elton John and Bob Dylan and people like that. We'll never see the likes of them again, because when artists like that were starting off, when record companies would sign them to a contract, they weren't expecting hit singles off the top. They kind of let the artists develop. You put them on a thing called a development deal, and now they don't do that anymore. Now they want instant success, and because of that, you know, we'll never have the likes of them again.
Pushing through the market square, so many mothers sighing. News had just come over, Earth had 5 years left to die in. A news guy wept and told us Earth was really dying. Cried so much that his face was wet. Then I knew he was not lying. I heard telephones, opera house, favorite melodies. I saw boys, toys, electric irons and TVs. My brain hurt like a warehouse, it had no room to spare. I had to cram so many things to store everything in there. All the fat skinny people and all the tall short people and all the somebody people and all the nobody people. Never thought I'd need so many people. A girl my age went off ahead, hit some tiny children. If the black had not pulled her off, then I think she would have killed them. A soldier with a broken arm fixed his stare to the wheels of a Cadillac. A cop knelt, kissed the feet of a priest, and the queer threw up at the sight of that. I think I saw you in an ice cream parlor, drinking milkshakes cold and long, smiling and waving and looking so fine. Didn't think you knew you were in this song. It was cold and it rained, so I felt like an actor, and I thought of more, and I wanted to get back there. Your face, your race, the way that you talk. I kiss you, you're beautiful.
You were talking earlier on when you were sick, and a very memorable night I remember, and it had a lot of people very emotional that night, was to see at a night for Christy, that fundraiser for you, to see the world's biggest band singing an Aslan cover.
Yeah, it was great. I mean, the whole thing was great. I mean, we had Paul Brady singing Aslan songs. We had Gavin James, Danny O'Reilly from the Coronas. So there was everybody's there. But at the end of the whole night, U2 did a cover of This Is. And it was an amazing honour. I remember sitting, we had it in the Olympia in Dublin, and I was up in the little box at the side of the stage, you know, where the two outfits sit in the Muppet Show. That's right, I felt like Waldorf that day. But I was looking down at the gig, and I'd always wanted it, you know, when I was in the band, I always wanted to know what it was like to be at an Aslan gig, because I'd love to know what people see when they look up on the stage. And it was great that night, because it was the lads, it was Aslan playing, and they had all the different singers singing. Obviously I couldn't sing at the time. And I remember at one point looking at the stage, and there was a big picture of me at the back, and I thought, this is the type of gig they do when you're dead, you know. And it was almost like being at your own funeral tribute.
Your own wake even.
Yeah, that's what it was like, and it was a real weird vibe, but it was amazing. And then, as you said, you know, years ago we kind of had a bit of a run in with U2, and then, you know, there's this kind of a lot of crap goes on, and then the press kind of made a lot more out of it than it was. But when I was ill, Bono came up to the house and we sat down and we had a great yap and that, and you know, we've been cool ever since. And anytime, even at the Ivy Gardens gig, anytime we do a gig in Dublin, they send up a bottle of champagne and you know, a couple of bunch of flowers or something. And it's just a nice gesture. But I mean, as I said earlier on about maintaining success, I mean, look at U2. They've conquered the world. What I really admire about them is they've conquered the world. They're still as big. They're still one of the biggest bands in the world, and there's no scandal. You know, they've gone through their whole careers, and there's never been any scandals or any, you know, bad vibes. It's all been very positive. And I think Bono takes a lot of stick. I can't understand it. I cannot understand it. For a man that tries to do so much good to the world, he gets a lot of flack, and it's off us. You know, it's the Irish kind of begrudging attitude, and it's something I don't really understand.
You're searching for the meaning of love. Everybody hits you with this feeling. Nobody seems to understand. Yeah, you stop, you look, you're searching for the meaning of love. Everybody hits you with this feeling. Everybody hits you. Everybody knocks you down. You stop, you look, you're searching. You stop, you look, you're searching. Everybody hits you with this feeling. Everybody hits you. Everybody knocks you down. You stop, you look, you're searching for the meaning of love. Love. Love.
Mate, since you've been in school, Joe Joel, the guitarist in Aslan, has been by your side, Christy. Tell us about some of those adventures.
We went over to a place called Manchester Square in London, where the offices of BMI are, and we went up onto the fourth floor, big boardroom, and they were popping the champagne corks. But I didn't kind of get a buzz out of it, you know. You kind of realised then that the work was only going to start then, you know what I mean? Now you're in a different league, you're in the Premier League now, and you have to deliver, you know. So it was very daunting.
The two of you worked in the old P&T.
Yes, that's right. Telecom Air, and then I don't know what it is now. But yeah, I used to be working on the underground cables and stuff, and Joe worked in another department. The reason we did that was we were both working in different jobs, and Joe would be off one day and I'd be working, and then I'd be off one day and he'd be working, so we could never arrange rehearsals. So we said, look, if we get a job together in the same job, we'll be off the same time. We can, and that's the reason we did that. So we could arrange rehearsals. This is when we used to have jobs behind the thing. But then eventually, I felt with the jobs that the jobs were kind of, because we had jobs to fall back on, it was robbing us of that hunger to succeed, because we knew if we didn't succeed, we had these cushy jobs in Telecom Ireland. So we jacked in our jobs and went full time just to kind of, we burnt all our bridges, so that way we had to make the band happen, you know.
There's no big pension waiting you from Telecom Ireland, then, no?
It's weird, you know, because when I was leaving, all these heads in Telecom were all kind of saying, "Jeez, that's great, I'm leaving, I wish I was you leaving." They're all retired now on their pensions. I'm still working, so it turned it's a bit ironic.
You still enjoy stepping up on that stage?
Absolutely, I love it. You know, as I said, there's so much, you know, people see the hour and a half, but you've been here now for a couple of hours now. I'm here since 4 o'clock. We're not going to be on till 9 o'clock. I left my house today at 1 o'clock. So there's a lot of kind of crappy parts of being in the band, and it's only the hour and a half on stage, or the 2 hours, that makes all that worthwhile.
And when that adrenaline kicks in,
oh yeah, that's what makes it. That's what it's all about, you know.
The crowds are always very supportive of you, and sold out shows all over Ireland, England, and Europe as well.
Yeah, we've kind of spread out because Ireland is so small. You couldn't just survive on what's happening in this country, because you know you have 26 counties. You can kind of play one county a month, but you can't just keep going back to the same gigs over and over again. So yeah, so we spread out into England last year, and we played a couple of gigs in France, Denmark and Germany and stuff. So we're spreading it all out, yeah, it's great.
Sean O'Brien from Scariff is going to be out here tonight, one of the 600 in Glore. He was in Horns in Tralee in 1988 when Aslan played there.
Yeah, I remember that gig. That gig was actually in Halloween night. Yeah, I remember it because when we came out on stage, everybody was all dressed up in the Halloween gear. But yeah, Jesus, yeah. I don't think Horns is there anymore. I think it's gone.
There used to be 3 kinds of gigs. There used to be a rock gig, a country gig, and a disco or something, wasn't
it? Yeah, and the rock gig was the big gig at the front.
So, Glore tonight.
Yes, I can't wait. I mean, there's very few theatres as nice as Glore Theatre around the country, you know. There's a lot of small little theatres, and you can kind of do acoustic gigs, but it's great to bring the full band to a theatre. We played here about 15 years ago maybe, and we haven't been back since, so we're really, really looking forward to it tonight.
Christy Dignam, lead singer of Ireland's hardest working band, Aslan. Thanks for taking the time to talk to Scariff Bay Community Radio.
Not at all, Owen, thank you.
I'm sitting here after my interview with Christy Dignam with Denise McCormick, who is the manager of Aslan. Thanks for taking the time to talk to Scariff Bay Community Radio.
You're very welcome.
It's a huge deal managing Ireland's hardest working band. Is it tough?
It is, but I have to say I'm very lucky to deal with them. They are the hardest working, but it's just what they love, so it doesn't feel like work to them, and I don't think they would be able to do anything else. It's just what keeps them going, and like for Christy especially, as he says, if he wasn't doing it, he might as well just be gone, as opposed to that's what keeps him going, and that's what gives him the energy to do it. So yeah, but I have to say, very lucky. They're great lads.
I've been watching Aslan's social media feeds now for the last couple of years, and since you got involved, their profile is increasing.
Yeah, well, I have to say, again, it's from the efforts that they put in as well, and for me, that makes my job easier too, that they're willing to try new things. Some of the stuff was new to them, but they were actually, I suppose, eager to go and try that out, and it's worked, and they've no problem doing their little video things, and yeah, people seem to like the interaction as well with them.
And the attraction with social media, with the Facebook live feeds from a gig, is really popular as well, isn't it?
It is, and we only started doing that actually was the milk market in Limerick, which we're doing again this year, and that was the 2018, and that was the first time we went live, and the lads hadn't done it before, so it went down a treat, and people in different countries that can't be here to see them and stuff were actually getting to see them live, so it was great.
The hardest working band in Ireland, and that they are, and they continue to headline big gigs like this one in Glore in Ennis.
Yeah, well, look, there's great opportunities. We still, like, we did 3 sellout gigs in Vicar Street there before Christmas, and they every year sell out people home that haven't been able to see them during the year because they live abroad. And we have the Olympia again, that's sold out again this year. We'll do the Ivy Gardens, which they absolutely love, and it's great because you have got that kind of festival feel, but it's just it's a much better setup than being at a festival. So you have all ages, kids can go once they're accompanied by an adult. So that whole vibe for them is just great. And then the intimate gigs just really work as well for them. Like Tonight in Glory is an amazing venue to be doing, and it's years since they've been here, so all good.
Christy said 15 years since Aslan graced the stage of Glore.
Is it really 15? We were trying to figure it out upstairs. Yeah, it's mad, crazy.
Listen, Denise McCormick, I know you're under time pressure because the band are going to stage shortly. Thanks for taking the time to talk to Scarf Bay Community Radio.
Thank you, and it was lovely to meet you as well this evening. Thanks a million.
How can I protect you in this crazy world? It's alright, yeah, it's alright.
I'm with Niall from Quinn, who's originally from Dublin. You're coming to see Aslan tonight. Looking forward to it.
Oh, I can't wait, yeah. Dying to see them again. Seen them about 20 times, but not in a long time.
Don't know where, don't care less, it's all the same. I have traveled through so many towns. Don't know why, don't know where, don't care less, it's all the same. Yeah. So how can I protect you in this?
I'm here with Charlotte from Currafin, and she's going to tell me what her favourite song is in the Aslan set.
Crazy World.
And if it's Crazy World, who's your favourite member of the band?
Oh, of course, Christy.
How long have you been a fan of Aslan?
I suppose about 30 years, maybe.
The band was formed in 1982, did you know that?
Oh, I didn't know that, no.
And they're from Dublin.
I know that much, yeah.
Don't care less, it's all the same. Love is blind, love is real. Don't you know that love is what you feel? It's alright, yeah, it's alright. So how can I protect you in this crazy?
I'm outside in the foyer with four lovely young ladies here. They're going to tell me who they are, where they're from, and their favourite Aslan song.
Hi, I'm Lisa. I'm from Clarecastle. And Crazy World, favourite song.
Hi, I'm Myrna. I'm living in Ennis, and my favourite is This Is. Hi, I'm Olive Hurt, and I'm from Cusheen, and I like Crazy World.
Hi, I'm Emma. I'm from Kilmary Macman, and I like Crazy World.
It's alright. And it's alright. It's alright. This is a crazy.
Aisling is here lubricating her vocal cords before the gig tonight. Aisling, tell me what your favourite song is.
It has to be Crazy World. The one and all, everyone knows Aslan for Crazy World.
And who's your favourite member of the band?
Oh, she's the main man, Christy himself.
What about Billy?
The mine Billy. Christy's the main man.
What about Joe?
The mine Joe.
Alan?
No.
Rod?
No, forget them all. Christy's the main man. We love Christy.
How many times have you come to see Aslan?
My first time ever come to see Aslan. I'm so excited. And the fact that it's in my hometown as well is just even better. So to see the man himself on stage, belting out the tunes, I can't wait. I'm actually so excited.
How can I protect you when all the crowd are gone? Now your party's over and all this world is wrong. It's alright.
I'm joined by Tracy Hines outside the venue here in Glore. A long-time Aslan fan.
Forever, probably, yes. Yeah, a very long time.
And what's your favourite track?
Well, probably Crazy World, but there's so many of them, and I don't remember the names of all of them, but I can sing along with a lot of them. But Crazy World obviously is it's a treasure.
And your favourite member of the band is?
And it's Christy.
It's alright.
Who's your favourite member of the band?
I would have to say Christy Dignam because of what he's battled and what he's been through and where he's come out the other side of it, and I think he's amazing because he's still there and still doing live shows.
It's alright, it's alright, it's alright.
This is Eoin O'Hagan. You've been listening to Christy Dignam from Aslan on Scariff Bay Community Radio.
When all the crowd have gone, now your party's over.